Hey, good morning, you guys. All right, so we've been talking the last couple days about weight loss efforts. And yesterday I was addressing the question of well, what do? If you've cut out all the gluten-free, dairy-free, not eating any kind of crap and things aren't working, but you think you're overeating. So what do? You want to track, okay? The only way to identify what's going on, in a sense, is to track. But let's say you've been tracking. You track your calories, you track your macros, or let's say you've just been paying attention. You've cut out refined carbohydrates or refined products, and you're eating clean, lean protein and good carbohydrates and good fats, and you're not really getting any results. Okay, or maybe you were getting results, but now they've stalled, you plateaued. So a couple different things. Number one, a true plateau is when you've gone 4 consecutive weeks, no body fat loss, no inches lost, and no weight loss. 4 weeks. If you move in any one of those areas, no inches lost, body fat loss, or weight loss, you move in any one of those areas, then you're not in a plateau. Okay? So we'll get that out of the way. But let's say you're doing all the things. You're doing the things, you've been tracking, and you're really not seeing the results. Things aren't moving. Well, there's 3 things that could be happening. Number one is that you have gone and restricted your calories for too long. You're too low calorie. So then your body, what it does, is called metabolic adaptation. It will actually slow down the rate in which you use up fuel because you're not giving it enough fuel. That's why tracking, not that you have to track forever, but that's why tracking is so important. In the beginning, like I was sharing yesterday, is that when our women start with us, we want them to just track. I don't want you to judge your food. I say take off the judgmental oculars. I don't want you to judge your food. I just want you to track it so we can see what your average calories that you're taking in, what your average protein, fat, and carbs, and then we adjust accordingly to what the goal is, whether it's weight loss, hormone balance, reducing fat and increasing muscle. It's similar but different, right? But anyway, so number one, your calories are too low. Let's say your calories are not too low. Then they're too high for your activity level, right? Just because you have a mathematical equation and maybe your Apple Watch or your Fitbit or whatever is telling you that you burn a certain amount of calories every day, it's just a guesstimate. It doesn't know for sure. The only way that you know for sure is go and get your body tested to see where your lean muscle mass is, fat mass, and the oxygen that you burn, the calories that you burn. So it's just giving you a guesstimate. So sometimes you have to play with those calories. So you could have your calories too low, which majority of women do. Calories could be too high. So you're saying, I need to increase my activity level or reduce my calories. And second thing could be, if it's not calories too high, too low, then your macros are off, which we see all the time as well. You say, well, Lydia, aren't your macros your calories? No. Your macros is what make up your calories, okay? So they're not the same thing. So your macros are your protein, your fat, and your carbohydrates. Your protein, fat, and carbohydrates what actually give or what have the calories and make up the calories. But the ratio in which you consume those calories, those macros, can determine, I'll get it out, how you lose weight, gain weight, lose fat, gain muscle, okay? So the proportions, the percentages are really important. Majority of women do not get in enough protein. And the more mature you are, the more important it is that you get ample amounts of protein. So your macros could be off. So if your macros are off, you need to check that. On average, your protein should be your weight times 0.82. Your weight times 0.82, and that's going to give you your daily grams. So first is that your calories are off, too low or too high. Second, it could be that your macros are off. So your percentages, you're like, well, Lydia, what should that be? What should all my percentages be? Figure out your protein first and then worry about the other later. Because if you figure out your basic calorie intake based on your goal and then figure out your protein, you can let your fat and carbs, in the meantime, in the interim, just a quick fix right now, fall where they fall within the calories. So you got to pay attention to calories and you pay attention to macros. And again, you don't have to do it forever. But if you want something to change, if you're trying to achieve a specific goal, then how do you know what to do if you don't know what you're currently doing right now? Right? The GPS, think about the GPS. When you get into your car, it always asks you, what's your current location? You can't say, well, I don't know where I am. Well, they can't give you, turn-by-turn directions. That's why tracking in the beginning is so critical to your success. So that's number 2. Then number 3, you say, Lydia, I know my calories, I do my macros, been doing it for a while, barely having movement. Then we know if you are getting in the right nutrition, the right calories, the right macros for your specific goal and for your body, then we know for sure it's a hormonal issue, which most women, especially when we hit 40 and up, we're going to struggle with hormone imbalance and hormonal decline. But the top 5 that women deal with, number 1 is inflammation. Inflammation based on our environment, the food that we take in, the stress that we deal with, the chemicals in our food, in our water, in our air, right? So, and then emotional, mental stress, physical stress. So we got inflammation, you have excess insulin, you have high cortisol, you have thyroid dysfunction, and then number 5 is your sex hormones, which is imbalanced testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone. Those are the 5. And I'm specifically talking to women today. Well, I'm always talking to women, but just to give you that information. So those are 3 things that you could be dealing with. You could be dealing with all of them. You could be dealing with one of them. That's why you may not be getting results. So it's important, 1, to track, identify what you're taking in. Don't guess, test, get your labs done, at least once a year to find out where you are. And then you measure, monitor, and adjust. You're like, well, if my hormones are out of balance, what do I do? You want to support your gut, and you want to protect your liver. Those are the things. So we start out with the anti-inflammatory cleanse. Then we go into adjusting your calories and your macros based on your specific goal. That's a quick one. All right, I need to roll. Hope this helps. Comment in the comments, share, like. I'll talk to you guys later.